on Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m. The meeting is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderperson Drewzwicki.
Aye. Here.
Alderperson Bailey.
Present.
Alderperson Kastner.
Present.
Alderperson Akers.
Present.
Alderperson Sarian.
Present.
Item B, opening prayer. We have
So glad to get to pray twice here in one night. It's very exciting. So thankful for all of you and for this great city and for all that you do to keep our city as great as it is. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you again for your goodness and for your hand on our lives. Thank you, Lord, for this great leadership and for our some of our brand new leadership. Again, I pray for your blessing on Andy and for Bruce, and then for all of these great men and women that have devoted their lives to making our city a great place. I pray for protection over our fire department, over our police department, and over all of our city officials, and over all of those that are here tonight. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Item C is the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, moving along. I'm going to defer on the mayor's report, other than just mentioning one thing. If you notice some activity going on in front of our library, that is our new Veterans Memorial that's going in. There'll be more to share. We're working through some graphic design to share it with you. I want to thank Dan Jansen Fest, who is sponsoring it in its entirety, utilizing city labor, probably saving us hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process. It's going to be a wonderful Veterans Memorial, and keep your eyes open for it.
Approved minutes, D.
Well, okay, going back to D, I'd entertain a motion to approve the April 5th, 2023 Common Council minutes
Motion to approve.
by Alderperson Akers,
Second.
second by Alderperson Kastner. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Under Mayor's report, what I just said. Aldermanic reports, are there any this evening? G, are there any announcements from anybody? The only announcement I can think of off the top of my head is the Greater Greenfield Lions Club is going to have their car show on Memorial Day at Kowicki Park, which is always an awesome car show. I encourage you all to attend.
I heard Alan Kowicki's car is coming back too.
Alan Kowicki's car is coming back, and it sounds like that car is actually going to be racing in some of the vintage racing that's going on out there these days. So it's kind of cool.
Arbor Day coming up also.
We have Arbor Day coming up and Little League Opening Day as well, usually at the same time. Okay, under announcements, are there any other announcements anybody can think of? Trying to move along.
I think just that the farmer's market is going to be starting in May.
Say what?
May. The
Farmers Market.
The farmer starts the first weekend of May, right?
Yeah.
Mostly just pansies and artwork, but
Maybe some soap too.
just everybody has pansies, right?
I
Don't
know
they?
some.
Maybe some asparagus.
Possibly soup.
Could be. Cheese and honey, meat.
Knife sharpening.
You should go. It's a great farmer's market. Especially if you want pansies at the first one. So, all right. So under citizen commentary, we have Kathleen Vincent here. Did you want to say a few words? Kathleen is one, or Kathleen? You go by
Kathleen,
Kathleen
or Kathy is fine.
Kathy?
So, yes. And I don't know how much time I have, but I won't take a long.
Less than 3 minutes.
Less than 3. I'll make
He's
sure.
got the
Unless the
gavel now,
speech
look
is
out.
as good as Alderperson Bailey's. then you
His
can go
was
on.
great. I don't have any jokes, so. My name is Kathleen Vincent. I serve as the District 11 County Supervisor. I wanted to formally introduce myself. Some of you I have not met, and others I have met at Arbor Day last year. Exactly a year ago today, I was sworn in as your County Supervisor, and as was eloquently said by both yourself, Mayor Knightsky, and Bruce Bailey, our job as elected officials is to do customer service. And I want you all to know that Greenfield holds a very special place in my heart. I spent about 17 years playing softball at Conkle Field with my 8 brothers and sisters. We were called All in the Family, and we're well known at that park. Greenfield, as much as Greendale, plays a special role in my life. And so I just wanted to introduce myself and let you know that I'm always a phone call away. I pride myself myself on returning all calls and emails, and really want to serve this community as best as I can. I want to thank you, Mayor Knightsky, for the tour you took me around Greenfield at the beginning of my term last year, just to kind of get the lay of the land of Greenfield and the needs. And there's so many great things going on in Greenfield. And I'm here to serve you. And if you ever need anything as a common council or any residents in the audience here today, please don't hesitate to call. And I'm one of 2 supervisors that represent Greenfield. Together we cover the whole area, and we take that job seriously. So I just wanted to introduce myself and congratulate both Andrew and Bruce for your reelection. I know what that's like. I just went through an election for the Greendale School Board. I was reelected there just on April 4th as well. So I know the work that goes into running for office, but as all of you know that serve, it's really important to actually do the work, and so that's why we're here. So I just want to introduce myself and say thanks for all you do for the city of Greenfield. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next person is Patty Logston, who's our other supervisor, and a Greenfield High School graduate.
Oh, excuse me?
Did you graduate from Greenfield High School? Never mind. It's okay.
Can you hear me? Oh, I'm Supervisor Patty Logston. I'm District 9. I represent the west part of Greenfield. This is my 3rd term, and I'm honored to have Greenfield as a result of the redistricting added on to my district. I grew up in Greenfield. I graduated from Greenfield High School. It's a great community. You have a great mayor. I participated in the rec program and the parks programs years ago, and it was great then. It was such a privilege and honor to be invited to your event about a month ago, honoring your parks employees and others. I mean, you don't see that too much in communities where the community actually has special events honoring the people that work in their community. So I give you kudos for that. And I also would like to welcome Andrew, and I'm going to say this, Drzezinski, to your board, and welcome back Bruce Bailey. I've watched your meetings. I admire your decision-making and your skills. I see how much you care about your community. And again, thank you for inviting us to this event. I met some of my constituents while I was here that I've been working with already, and welcome any questions or concerns to my office. Thank you.
Thank you both for coming. Thank you. Next person is David Sherbarth.
I just wanted to remind you, Dave Sherbarth, 4341 South 60th Street, Greenfield, Wisconsin. I just wanted to remind everybody that I'm still very much interested in serving in the Board of Public Works. I've been on there 14 years as elected representative, and I feel I could contribute much to whatever aldermen are on the Board of Public Works. I get along with everybody. And I did some figuring. 2 things are very to keep in mind. A number of years ago, our governor decided to discontinue the state income tax. That figure was $89 million. Nobody thought of thinking outside the box. If they had, they could have made everybody in all the cities happy by saying, we're going to distribute that $89 million out to all the cities, towns, and villages. I had, since I'm not considered a mathematician, but our Paula is, I had her divide that into, take the state population of 5,695,000 divided into 89 million, and it comes up to $15.63 per capita. So Greenfield would have been getting several $100,000 for the last 10 years, as well as West Dallas, Greendale, Hales Corners, and go on. And we've stopped hearing about this. We're getting shortchanged on funds. All they had to do is vote to return the money that people were paying to the municipality, and we would have all been better off. Then I had to do one other calculation. The number 36 million has come out in lost revenue because all of our people are traveling to Illinois to buy their marijuana and stuff. That divided by our population comes up to, if we divided it the same way, comes up to $6 per capita. It's a little less, but still, based on our population, we would get almost roughly $200,000 a year in extra revenue in the form of a check if it was divided up just by population. So this is a double pop. If our legislatures are thinking straight, they know that the people by 70% favor this in Wisconsin. They can all pat themselves on the back if they pass that, and they can get all the cities, towns, and villages off their back by the fact that they've be sending them all a check based on the tax revenues divided up amongst all the municipalities, cities, towns, and villages. Thank you.
Thank you. The last person is it Victor Heike? Are you here for a public hearing?
Yeah, my apologies, Your Honor. I wrote my name on the wrong sheet.
You don't have to really call me Your Honor just because.
You are wearing a white shirt today.
So there are 4 public hearings coming up. There are sheets of paper up here if you want to register for those to speak for information, to speak for or against, or just for informational purposes, you can do that. Or you can just register for or against. Someone asked me earlier whether or not, well, she doesn't know yet because she wants to hear what they have to say. You're certainly willing and able to do it after that, okay? I exercise discretion with that. So the very first one that we're going to hit is item I-1, public hearing on a special use permit for a communications tower to be located at 12100 West Howard Avenue, submitted by Derek Dye, doing business as Bridge Tower Corporation, Michael Long, doing business as Hush Blackwell. He's an attorney, right? You doing business as an attorney, or are you really an attorney? Really an attorney. Okay. All right, the first item would be to approve a resolution for a special use permit for the communications tower located at that address. The second would be to approve site and architectural plans for that communication tower. Hand you over to Christy, who will describe the tower.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the site here, which does house several other communication towers, along with a building with offices and a parking lot. What the applicant is proposing is to construct a 150-foot tall monopole for Dish Network. Dish is new to entering the field. They would be a competitor to Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, the names that we commonly hear. And they would put their equipment on the monopole. Here are the proposed antennas by Dish Wireless. And then there would be room for future antennas on that monopole. This type of use requires a special use permit, hence the public hearing this evening in the I Institutional Zoning District. The monopole will also lease a 50-foot by 50-foot fenced-in compound with equipment on the ground that you see here. They would install, their equipment would be 5G equipment, and again, room for additional equipment on that pole. This is a plan view of the 50-foot by 50-foot compound. It will be fenced in. They also would be constructing a 123-foot long paved access drive from the parking lot. They would lease the compound. The leased compound proposed would be enclosed with a 6-foot tall board-on-board fence and landscaping around the fenced enclosure. The property line and building clearance, there's the property line and building clearance from the 150-foot fall zone. So they have shown that on plan that there is clearance. It would not pass the property line. It would not hit the building if heaven forbid, the monopole were to ever fall. They also are providing a bond or irrevocable letter of credit for use by the city for the removal of the antenna facilities. If the facilities are ever abandoned or no longer used, we will record a deed with Milwaukee County Register of Deeds to remove the tower within 12 months after the discontinuance, if that were to ever occur. The Plan Commission did review this. They recommended approval at its March 14th meeting, and to date, we've received one letter of objection.
Okay. So as you're looking at this, those things that look like, what are those, starfighters or? Yeah, those are the big towers that you see on the property. I don't know if everyone that's here can see those. And the one that's being proposed is the black square right there. So I have Jeff Tyler, who's speaking in favor. He's with the applicant, I think, probably to answer questions. There were two people that registered to speak for information only. The first one was Robert Tomaszewski. Did you have questions that weren't answered? If you have to come up to the microphone, say and spell your last name and provide your address, please.
Oh, sure. My name is Robert Tomaszewski, and my address is 12225 West Black Oak Drive in the wonderful city of Greenfield, Wisconsin. I live pretty close to Tom Wilkuski's house, and I knew Tim Sider very well. So anyway, concerns are certainly with this tower that's going to be constructed, and I believe in moving forward, certainly in society, but we have to ask, was there an environmental study being done prior to even getting the recommendations for this tower or being allowed to be built at that location? So environmental could be the land, could be animals in the area. How does that impact birds? And I know that at one point in time when I did talk with Alderman Kastner, and we did have a drainage easement done on the north side of the field, prior to that being done, there was an environmental study where supposedly there could very well be garden snakes out there, frogs, things like that, and that was not to be interrupted, and at that time was also said it was a protected species. Now, whether it still be it or not, I don't know, but was there an environmental study? And secondly would be a safety study or security study of this new antenna along with its 50-foot by 50-foot plat that is going to be, at this new location. Of concern, radio frequency radiation, numbers of low level, be it of that area. How are we planning to monitor that? And was a study done at any other location to know what kind of low level radiation, RF radiation, we will have from that given site? And I have to reference safetymanagementgroup.com because that's where my information is coming from. And this low-level RF radiation could lead to development of a tumor and certain cancers. Now, I know people in my own subdivision that are suffering from cancer. How is this going to impact our community? So I ask you that. Was a study done? Was there any consideration given to that? So I know people in our area. Breast cancer is a good example. So with low-level radiation like that, with how many more communication towers, or not the towers, but the panels that will be placed upon this tower, obviously is going to increase radiation. How are we going to monitor that? So before we go ahead and build this tower, I ask for that information to be provided and make that recommendation again to the Planning Commission. Is that of any concern for any of us at all? Anybody out there at that given location? So, and are there going to be cameras on that tower? Or are there cameras on any other towers? And if they are, I hope they point at Carl's house, not at mine. So, for what it's worth.
I have a couple already pointing at my house, so it's okay.
There you go. But I know yours don't put off radiation, but thank you. So, and also, Mayor, I want to say thank you for putting this Veterans Memorial together, because I served 36 years in this wonderful country in the military. Thank you, and I intend to support it once you begin the development of it. And finally, City Attorney, do you have anything you wish to say to me that I should convey to Tom Wukuski? Okay, very good. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you give some considerations, especially to the safety of the environment as well as the radiation, low-level radiation that has a, actually it's proven, given cancerous tumors to people. Who? Heaven only knows. But anyway, I hope you will look at it. Thank you.
Okay, so when it comes to those kinds of questions, the folks that are the applicant, we'll give you an opportunity to respond to those things, okay? The next person is a Michael Long. Yeah, you would definitely speak in favor, right? Yeah, okay, sorry about that. The other person that we received an email from is a Randy Shearer, who sent an email to Alderperson Kastner on April 18th. It sounds like there was some communication before this based on the same kind of topics that were.
Same questions were asked, yeah.
Right. So this is what was asked to be read in the record. After our conversation last week, I did some additional reading on health effects from RF radiation from communication towers. As a result, I'm less concerned about the new tower, and so I'm not planning to attend the Common Council meeting tonight. You may have seen this material already, but I thought I'd pass along two of the articles. I found one from the IEEE, which is the International Electrical Engineering Group, I think, right? And one from the American Cancer Society. And then in parentheses, it might be nice to be able to cite some specific resources if you end up getting a lot of pushback. Regards, Andy Shearer, 37 South River Ridge Boulevard. And those are the only ones that I have registered to speak for information. Did you want to speak for? Did I miss you?
Mike.
Oh.
Did you get the ones in the hearing? There was some from the hearing.
I have people that are against still, but I don't have any for information or potentially in support.
I would like to ask a question now.
So you can, so these public hearings are, you can bring up the slip and give it somebody on the end, and then you can go up to the microphone. Right now, I'm just doing for information, that I'm doing the people that were in favor, obviously the guys that are trying to do it. And then the last thing is the folks that have registered against. So you have to go up to this microphone right here. And we have Chris Datka, DADTKA 12191 West White Oak Drive.
Correct.
Speaking for information.
Yes, just curious, I know that when we moved into the subdivision that we had a lot of problems because of the towers that were there, like with our telephone, it was a landline, you know, radio, TV even. And I'm just wondering with this new tower, was there a study done as far as technology interference?
Okay. And they're in the better position to answer that than I am. Did you want to speak for information too, sir? Or are you going to? Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, good, that's good.
The problem I have is what you sent to me and where it's on that map is two different places now.
I saw that picture, someone else showed it to me, and I think that's the zoning, the I that you're looking at?
Yeah.
Like a line like that?
Like a tower.
It's an I for institutional, which is the zoning.
Well, that's very misleading.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, don't.
So
Yeah.
It's right in front of my house.
Yeah, that's right in front of my house of 12205 West Howard Avenue.
okay, so I can't see that. Do we have a picture of that we can look at?
That was in a letter that was sent out as kind of.
This one?
Yeah, you can see our house in that, if that's the,
And where's this, I don't know what you have there, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is this what you received?
That was the original letter that was sent in.
yeah, this is the original letter.
Okay, I didn't see it.
I'll explain to you. When I spread it, that looks like a tower.
Yeah, that's not a tower, that's an eye.
But how am I supposed to know that? There's no ledger, so I'm thinking it's a tower.
No, I understand.
And then when you, well, picture's fine, but where now you're putting a tower is directly out my front window.
Okay, So you want to register against?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay. Yeah, no, so what he's looking at here, and I don't know if you can pull this up, but it showed, the different colors show different zone, there it is, that's even better, you can have that back. I'm not here to decide for, against, or anything, I'm here to conduct a public hearing, so,
She can talk at the
ma'am, just please, trust me, everybody up here is paying attention to what's going on, and they understand what you just said, especially I. So when you look at this, this is what was sent to you, and if you look at the different colors, each one of them like says R1 or PR or MFR3, and the one that you thought was going to be the tower is actually an I, and that stands for institutional. So it looks like an I with a dot underneath it, like an exclamation point, but that's actually the underline, just like under PR or R1, so we apologize for that. The idea is to change this to institutional, which would support the tower. The tower itself isn't underneath the other towers. It's consistent with this drawing. Okay? Okay. Okay, so you want to register against, so fill out the purple slip and get that up to me, okay? So I can read it into the record. The first person registered against but not speaking is Julie Krause, 12205 West Cruz. Is that you? Okay, so you did register, and you're Jeff. Okay, so Jeff and Julie have both registered against, but are not speaking. The next person is Adele Huff of 3707 South River Ridge Boulevard, Greenfield, registered against but not speaking. Next person is Mark Huff, 3707 South River Ridge Boulevard, registering against but not speaking. I've also received 2 emails, one from Adele Huff and one from Mark Huff, which I think outline those. If you want me to read these into the record, I can. Essentially, I'll read one of them because I'm not sure if they're the same. Are they the same? Are you guys here? They're different? Would you like me to read them into the record? Okay. I'm writing to you regarding the request for a communications tower to be located at 12100 West Howard Avenue in Greenfield. The proposed placement of the tower will directly abut with my property. We currently live in a blanket of low-level radiation. We have a 5G tower on our lot in the front yard, radio towers in our backyard, and now we're being asked upon an additional layer to drastically lower our property values and possibly affect our health and that of our family. Cell towers emit low-energy radiation, and experts say a developing child's brain is vulnerable to electromagnetic radiation, and concerns about the health effects are increasing. The distance needed to reduce exposures down to the general public precautionary level of 100 microwatts per meter squared is often around a quarter of a mile, or 1,320 feet or more. Individuals with EMF hypersensitivity or other serious health issues may want to consider a much greater safety districts, perhaps half a mile or even more. Caution around cell towers is recommended until the health impacts are more clear. No person, especially a parent, should be okay with taking this risk. The effects of a cell tower have been classified as a possible human carcinogen. Though they emit low levels of exposure, they have a cumulative effect in the body, in the whole body, excuse me. All research regarding cell towers suggests that further evaluation is required to determine the safety of towers placed near subdivisions. Due to the uncertainty and to protect our families, please err on the side of caution and do not approve this communication tower. That was from Adele Huff, but it came from Mark Huff's email. This is Mark Huff's email that came from Adele's. To the Community Development Division, to whom it may concern, I'm writing to you regarding the request for a communications tower to be located at 12100 West Howard Avenue in Greenfield. The proposed tower will be in my backyard. A home is one of the largest, biggest investments we make in a lifetime. I'd like to protect my investment. Transmissions from towers are concerning to many people and reduce property values. The Appraisal Institute is the largest global professional organization for appraisers. This study indicated that home buyers would pay from 10 to 19% less to over 20% less for a property if it were in close proximity to a cell tower. Even buyers who believe that there is no adverse health effects from cell towers, knowing that other potential buyers might think the reverse, will seek a price discount for a property. I don't want to see my property, my neighbor's properties and my neighbor's properties plummet, I think, in value. Also, cell towers are suspected to cause inflammatory responses in the body. Such disturbances would increase the risk for various diseases, including cancer. Based upon property values and health concerns, I would ask you not to approve the tower to be built at 12100 West Howard. Then I have one more that was, again, from Mark Huff, but signed Adele. So, do you guys have your emails mixed up? Maybe?
Towers must mess you up.
That's okay. All right. So this is a different comment, so I'll read it into the record as well. This one was received on April 18th. Is this the same?
I think it was the one I emailed, maybe.
Okay, it's the same. Okay. Sorry, I won't have to read it again. Okay, so those are all the people that registered for information in favor or against this. Is there anyone else that would like to speak or register with regard to this matter? There were some questions that were raised. We have the attorney and the tower expert guy here, right? So if you could come up to the microphone and if you could address who you are.
Good evening. My name is Michael Long. I'm the attorney for the applicant. My address is 511 North Broadway, Milwaukee 53202. And with me this evening is Jeff Tyler, representing, and he's the president of the Wisconsin market for iHeartMedia, which is the property owner where the tower is going to be located. And I wanted to have an opportunity to address a couple of different things that were mentioned by some of the members of the public. The first one is related to the environmental study on the property. Per the law, we need to do an environmental study. Typically, it's a phase one. And if the phase one, and it's in addition to the phase one study, you have to do this thing called the NEPA checklist, which is pursuant to federal law. And if the phase one study comes back and says that there may be an environmental condition on the property, then a phase two study is done. So before that tower can go up, we have to do these studies. I don't know if the applicant has performed those yet. They typically get done after the zoning approval is performed or is obtained, simply because of the expense associated with doing one. But I can tell you here, and I can assure you that if there's a problem environmentally with the site, the tower doesn't go up unless there are some things that are done to remediate the environmental condition on the property. Just to give an idea. The second thing I wanted to mention was the RF energy issue that's been raised by a couple of the residents, both that spoke here as well as what was represented in the email. And the 5G technology, which seems to a lot of people have questions about, operates very similarly to the 4G and the 3G technologies that are out there now in the wireless industry. It's just another technology standard. It operates at a different frequency than the 4G and the 3G technologies, but the concept is the same. You emit a signal from an antenna that's elevated to a device, and that device communicates back and forth with the antenna at the site. The FCC has determined that the 5G technologies are safe, provided that they're operated within the required power and frequency ranges that are set by the FCC, and they've indicated that there's not any evidence of any type of adverse effect on humans when these transmitters are operated in the right power. I guess we call it basically if they adhere to the power requirements, there are not any type of health issues associated with the site. In addition to that, and I don't know if the city attorney has mentioned this or not, or if Christie has mentioned this at all, but under the federal law and under the state law, the issue of health effects for wireless communication sites is really something for the FCC. It's not something that local governments can consider when making a decision on an application for a tower site or for an antenna site. I don't, do you have anything you wanted to add?
Not really. The only thing I'd add is, the concerns about the radio signal going into your homes, that's a fact. It can happen. Most AM towers were built well before those neighborhoods were built. The neighborhoods built up around the towers. I've had dozens of situations like this across the country, and it's not unusual.
So we can't engage.
Yeah. It's just, all I'm
Mr. Cruz,
saying
I'm
is
not
that
trying to
it
be
is
a
a
jerk about
factor.
this, but we can't engage in debate.
Right.
If you have some questions or concerns following up, I will let you come to the microphone and express those, okay? Just so we're clear.
I'll give you a quick example. When a neighborhood grew up around our area in Fitchburg.
Okay, so, and you have to talk to us.
I'm sorry,
Just-
I'm sorry.
So that would probably help,
Eric,
just so
around,
you know.
in Fitchburg, we had a similar situation near Madison. We warned the home builders that were building homes around our towers to use shielded cable to keep that tower, that signal from getting into microwaves, into telephones. And they didn't do it. And that is the result sometimes. That's just the nature of that array and that AM tower. So other than that, there's no, like I said, no proven dangers.
The other thing that I did want to mention is that the applicant has done what they call an RF tuning study for the site, and that is basically they've determined and they've looked at whether or not the new tower would interfere with the signals from the existing antenna array on the property, and they will have to what they call detune the tower, the new tower, which is basically putting a small wire down the side of the tower to make sure that the signals from the existing towers to the north aren't distorted. And apparently the wires, the small wires that go along the side of the tower would prevent the signal from being distorted. Right? Yeah. The other thing is that the reason we're putting the tower where we're putting it is that the existing WOKY AM towers, in addition to what you see on the top or in the above ground, there's significant wires and is it grounding systems? Grounding systems that are buried all around on the north end of the property. So we were prevented from putting anything on the north end of the property near those existing towers. It's actually, what is it, is it 250 feet of a radius?
The ground cable underground is about a foot underground. It goes out as far as the tower is high. So if the tower is 200 feet high, the wire goes out 200 feet, buried about a foot underground, every 3 degrees all the way around.
Yeah. The other thing I'll mention is that the towers that are there now are lit. This proposed site will not be lit. We know from what our FAA study is because of the height of the tower, it will not need to be lit.
Okay, you first, if you could come up to the microphone or give and Mrs. Cruz, did you want to say something? You can Mrs. Cruz, did you want to say something? Do you want to say
Oh,
something?
we got something here.
You want to go first? Or is this just registering, or is this? Okay. So this is Gina DeRosso, DeRosso, 12191 West White Oak Drive, speaking against.
Yes. So I have two questions. If he could come back up and follow up. So he said that as long as it's within a certain range, there's no effects, but who's to monitor that to make sure that it stays in those ranges? And then regarding the other gentleman that said about when the house is built up around the towers in Fitchburg, well, now you have an existing community already there. So now you're putting a tower in our backyard. And then I guess 3 is, okay, they did say that it can affect all of our, when we had problems with our phone and our TV reception. So now that tower goes up and now we can't even enjoy TV or have issues with making phone calls in our own house.
Okay, thank you.
First one was my
Mrs. Cruz,
question,
did you
too.
want to say something? I do, but I'm probably not. Well, don't blow. You don't have to blow. I mean, we're just, oh, seriously, there's no reason to blow. Just,
There was no legend on the map that we got, so we didn't know how to read it. So a lot of our neighbors, and again, there's not a lot of houses there. We have big properties across. We've been there over 20-some years. We play well with them, even though their garbage trucks come at 6 o'clock in the morning, bang and stuff. They were there first. We understand that. But why another tower? And it's so close to the road, that's gonna be 400 feet from my house. Will you put a tower in front of your house? That's 400 feet? That's that tall? That's emitting? We don't know. Again, I think it's safe, but we were also told when we bought our house 20-some years ago that we wouldn't have any problems living there. We lived there for a week and we found out all of our pipes under our house were riddled, copper pipes with holes, because of the emissions from their tower. Now, we understood that we bought the house and that was gonna happen, but now another tower, 400 feet in front of my house. If the neighbors would have been able to read that map, I'm sure we would have had even more people, but they read it like we did, that it was gonna go behind, we wouldn't really be able to see it, it'd be kind of farther away from us, and now it's gonna be right there. So that's kind of my issue. Would you have it there?
so you don't get to ask, unfortunately, you don't get to ask questions, but that's a good rhetorical question.
And again, there's not that many houses, so there's not enough people here to say, we don't want it. Because look at the area, we're farther apart. If Morgan Oaks was being affected by this, I'm sure there would be a lot more people there. And if they would have been able to read the map, I think there'd be a lot more people.
Not everybody in Morgan Oaks got the map either, just the people.
So just, okay, so the law is that the map gets distributed, or this public notice hearing gets distributed within 400 feet from the outer boundaries of the property line. So 400 feet around this parcel is 400 feet, is where the notice gets distributed by ordinance. And some people say, well, it should be 600, it should be a mile, it should be the entire, so there's all sorts of case law, there's all sorts of stuff. 400 feet is the reasonable amount to provide notice. I understand, so congratulations, you didn't blow, okay? You stated that very eloquently and objectively, okay? So the next, he has a couple questions asked here. He should keep his pen out just in case there's some other follow-up. So what this isn't going to be is going to be a dialogue between back and forth and everybody just getting angry, right? This is a public hearing. Public hearings can be extended. They can vote tonight to approve it, not approve it, do all sorts of things, right? So let's just, if you want to come up and if you have a follow-up question, and then, did you ever speak yet?
I did.
Yes, you did.
I was wondering, with the towers that are existing.
Okay, so if you're going to ask questions that subject matter, you have to go up to the microphone. I'm sorry, because it's being recorded. It's actually being broadcast to potentially 8 billion people on YouTube right now. But I doubt it. Probably safe. Could be 13 or something. Somebody want to.
This is Chris
Okay.
Statka again. I was just wondering, the tower that's going to be going up is 150 feet tall? Is that?
Yes, that's what,
Do we know how tall the other ones that are there right now, how tall they are? I'm just curious.
he can answer that question. They're allowed, so 150 feet, it's usually 10 feet per story or 11 feet per story. So this is about a 15-story tower. The other ones are well beyond that. Just hold on. Now you want to speak?
I am from Morgan Oaks, certainly, and represent the community as I talk to Alderman Kastner all the time. Anyway, with respect to the antenna field, and we understand the progress and respect that as well. But as we're going through this development and putting all this together, it would be very kind of the committee to keep us informed as to the progress of study. And again, to monitor the RF frequencies. How are we going to continually do that? Or is it just going to be during the time of the initial setup?
He will have to answer that.
We really don't know. And it is true, when I pick up my phone, I have to have a filter on the line because we do have interference from that, which I understand, and that's all well and good. Also to mention, there are several neighbors that have dish antenna. How is that going to impact dish antenna? I don't really know. So, but we have television on antenna, and I have a unique setup within my home. How will that be impacted? And again, with additional panels that will be placed upon that tower, which I think is probably that's probable, that again is going to increase that RF radiation. So again, the question is, how are we going to continually monitor that type of radiation? And again, with respect for moving forward in this world, we have to, but we have to do it very safely and cautiously.
All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
Did you want to respond to the height questions, all the other stuff?
So the height of the existing AM towers that are out there now are 247 feet. So a little under 100 feet taller than what the proposed tower is. As far as the interference issue that was brought up, the tower, the presence of the cell tower will not cause any further interference with anything related to television or radio, and it won't exacerbate any interference that the residents around in the area experience now. That's completely related to the operation of the AM station. It won't have anything to do with the operation of this wireless communications tower. And just to sort of draw a distinction between Dish Network, the television programming entity, and Dish, the wireless communications entity, as Christy mentioned, the anchor tenant for this tower, the first tenant for this tower is going to be Dish Network, but it's their mobility division, so they will be actually offering a service that's similar to what AT&T would be offering if they were at the site, or Verizon Wireless, or T-Mobile. So it's another, Dish Network right now is in the process of building out its a nationwide wireless communications network to compete against AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And then lastly, on the issue of monitoring for compliance with the law, and with from the standpoint of RF safety, the carriers that operate on these sites. So it's not a function of the tower owner isn't broadcasting any signals from the site. It would be the tenants, and the tenants are all federally licensed, and they can't they're prevented from doing anything that would be in violation of their license. They get shut down, they get fined. But in addition to that, the equipment that's being installed at these sites, it's by the laws of physics, the equipment's incapable of actually broadcasting at a level that would cause any type of danger or interference. Provided everybody, provided the equipment goes in as installed, it's incapable of actually being turned on in such a way or used in such a way that it can be a hazardous.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So Verizon has put all these black poles that are about the size of streetlights all
Yes.
over the place. Why aren't you doing that, and why are you putting up a 150-foot tower?
I would tell you that the little poles that Verizon has done in the city's rights of way, throughout the city, that's sort of what I call part 2 of a wireless network. So you've got a part 1 would be the macro towers, like this one that's being proposed, a taller tower, and then over time, especially as the service is being used as a replacement for the home telephone, you'll see the small cells being deployed. Now, it's taken Verizon and AT&T, who seem to be the most active players in the small cell space right now, it's taken them almost 25 years to get to the point within their networks where they actually have to have these small cell sites deployed. And what they do is they work in conjunction with a larger site, and the smaller ones are deployed to sort of offload traffic. They're not really designed to be a replacement for a macro site. It's more of a working as a complement technology with a macro or a much larger site like the one we're proposing here.
Just another question. So why Dish Cellular? Is that
Yes,
the thing? So
basically, Dish Mobility.
was Dish Mobility, is that an existing cellular service now, or is it?
No, they have not launched. They are in the process of building out the network so they can get to a launch.
And are they building out the network because it's part of a merger agreement with AT&T or something that they had to create a network?
That's correct. It was the merger between T-Mobile and Sprint. If I recall, it's, the Justice Department wouldn't allow it to go forward unless a fourth nationwide competitor would step forward and develop a fourth network, and Dish was in the process of doing that, and they stepped forward and they said they would do it and have it up and running by a certain date.
Okay, so the FCC, is that who, or?
Well, it's probably, I could just say the federal government, it's probably the DOJ and the FCC and a couple of other agencies all got together and struck this agreement with Dish.
Just another quick question.
Yep.
So I sit on the planning commission and I saw this, and then I drove to the site, and it's sort of like in the front yard, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not where, it's like the towers, the neighborhoods have built around it, but this is sort of like in the front yard, right?
Yeah, it's
And it's like pretty close to the road. I mean, on this map, it looks kind of far away, but.
I want to say it is north of 160 feet from the road.
So, and you can't really see to the left, as you're looking left where the dotted lines are, not the driveway side or the sidewalk side, but the other side. It's about 150 feet from the people's houses too? Is that about right? 160 feet?
About 180.
Okay. It's a lot closer than the towers?
I'm sorry?
It's a lot closer than the AM towers, which are sort of in the middle field. Okay, okay. I was just curious.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Does anyone else want to speak for, against, or informational purposes? I'll give the people that have spoken one more chance if they want to say something, but if you're going to repeat what you said, there's not the need to. Did you want to say something? Yeah. And if you could say your name and your address, I'd appreciate it.
Jeff Cruz from 12205 West Howard Avenue. Just curious, if they get the okay to build this, how is it going to be run? Are there going to be diesel generators if the power goes out and we have to listen to that? How does that work? Because I know the radio station itself, once in a while we can hear something running, like when power goes out. Now this is only, now that stuff is on the back side of their property. Now this is coming to the front. What are they going to do with that? And when they're sticking stuff in the ground, like they said, it was going out so many feet from the towers and whatnot. When she talked about the corrosion of the pipes, that did come from that. Obviously, that's what we had to deal with. But then we had to put copper in because of the current that is in the ground once we fixed it. But my question is, what are they going to have a diesel generator running when power goes out?
Are there any generators for this if it goes down?
Goes down, do we have to listen to that? And what do we do about that?
Yes. So I'm not aware of Dish putting a generator on the site. However, the carriers typically, because they want to make sure that these their sites work in the event of a power outage, they from time to time do install generators and battery systems at the site. On this particular site, and in my experience in dealing with sites in residential areas, you can put in an almost silent generator, and they only operate when they test, I think, once a week for like 10 minutes, and then they're waiting to be deployed in the event of a power outage. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any guide wires or anything on this tower? I think somebody asked that.
There are not any guide wires on this
It's
site.
a monopole without any wires?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Somebody asked that, I think.
Yep. If there were any wires attached to the site, there'd just be this one that runs basically along the side of it, and that would be for purposes of detuning based on the study that was done at the site.
Okay. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak for or against informational purposes concerning this item? Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against informational purposes concerning this item?
Can I just say I'm against it?
You already did. We got you. We got you there. And you're a neighbor, right? Okay. All right. I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing. By Alderperson Akers, there's second.
Second.
Second by Alderperson Kastner. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. The first thing is approving a resolution for a special use permit for a communications tower located at this address. Does the council wish to take any action?
Full disclosure, I'm one of the closest residents.
Does the council wish to take any action? Moving to I-1B, approving the site and architectural plans. There's no need to do that if there's no special use to allow that to happen.
Mr. Mayor, would you like me to address some of the legal concerns that
You
were raised?
can, if you want. Sure.
Okay. The reality is, I've heard a lot of concerns from the neighbors, but the reality is that the legislature actually preempted this entire area probably 6 or 7 years ago. And under state law, political subdivision may no longer, with respect to cell towers like this one, may no longer, let me get my glasses on so I can read it here. The very first one that they prohibited communities from dealing with, imposing environmental testing, sampling, or monitoring requirements, or other compliance measures for radio frequency emissions on mobile service facilities or mobile service providers. Municipalities also may no longer enact an ordinance prohibiting the placement of a mobile service support structure in particular locations within the political subdivision. And Another one amongst the 28 conditions that we can no longer impose is prohibit the placement of emergency power systems. So the reality is that all the concerns that were addressed tonight, frankly, the legislature has determined that in their estimation, that those are issues that just can't be considered anymore. So there's very little that's left to localities in terms of regulating these things. Yeah.
So there has been a public hearing, which is a statutory right. There doesn't have to be any action with regard to that public hearing, does there?
No. We're up to the action items, so.
Right. So we don't have to take action,
No,
right?
no.
Does the council wish to take any action?
And so if we take no action.
So
that
if we don't take
means-
any action, then there's probably not a decision. I just want to point out that the law that the city attorney just referenced, and how many things can't we look at?
About 20, it starts at A, it goes all the way through W, so almost 26.
So there's 27 letters in the alphabet. Z and Y would be 7, 6. There's at least 25 things, right? No, W, X, Y, Z, so it'd be 24 things. There are 24 things that we can't take into account when we address these, that the legislature said. Most of those things are things that were brought up this evening. Some of the things that I think some of us had a concern were placement in the front yard, immediately adjacent to people's homes, all of those things. So the council, I don't think, has to take any action.
I just mapped it, I'm 1,000 feet.
It seems to me that the council can't take, the council can't take an action for the most part, although I think that there's still some wiggle room with regard to placement. The council can't take some action to object based on the 24 or 5 things that we can't take into consideration. But the council doesn't have to act. Does that make sense?
And this is the only place it can go on the site?
I'm sure that
So we can,
we don't have to take any action.
and if we don't take any action, what will
Then-
happen?
Well, then it's not approved,
Oh,
right?
What's the next card
Right.
that's
Right,
played?
no, then the ball's back in the applicant's court, and they can.
Then
take
the
whatever-
applicant can come
take whatever
forward,
actions they deem appropriate.
probably potentially through some legal action, saying, well, you took into account these 25 things or something, which we're not, because we're not voting on it. We're not rejecting it because of any of the 25 items, from what I can tell. We're not taking action on it. Does that make sense? Okay, the council doesn't want to take action?
That is,
Okay, moving along to item I2. So what does this mean for the people that are in the audience? This means that the folks back there, right, or the representing clients, right, who want to put this tower in, will likely have to pursue some action to require this council to vote. I'm not sure what that action is. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily over. I think it's important that, do you have a statutory reference there?
Yeah, this is 660404, I'm trying to find, actually.
So I would encourage the neighbors to look at a statute, Wisconsin statute, and you can Google this, okay? And he's getting us the statute now. It's
0404.
0404. I would encourage you to look at the latest version of that, because I think every year or two they add something to it. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know when the last time was, but.
I'm just
okay.
trying to verify that statute does only allow a 90-day window for action on a completed application.
And there's a public hearing.
And that has happened. What I'm looking for is and I thought the language in the statute, I can't find it right now, but in certain statutes, the legislature actually built in language saying that if an application is completed and it hasn't been acted on in a certain period of days, then it is deemed to be approved. I don't believe that that's at least I haven't found it in this section yet.
I'm not sure if that's in there. So when it comes to some of this cell tower stuff, I think that mostly relates to, and I'm not sure it relates to this, but it might. So that's where we're at, okay? Moving along to item I2, it's a public hearing. Is this a tattoo one? No.
No.
This is, okay.
Weatherization.
So, okay, I'll let you all leave if you're here and you want to leave. Item I2 is a public hearing on a special use permit for Weatherization Services LLC, a proposed weatherization contractor business to be located 10941 West Layton Avenue, submitted by Devin Hawthorne, doing business as Weatherization Services LLC. This would be to approve a resolution for a special use permit and as well as approve site landscaping and architectural plans. We have the applicant here, right? Back there he is. Is there anyone? So this is the blue paper. If anyone's here to speak for, against, or informational purposes concerning this item, please register. Christy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Hawthorne has purchased the property, the former truck terminal property on 109th and Layton. Property zone C4. He's proposing to open up a contractor business, drywall and installation contractor that requires a special use permit in the public hearing. He would occupy the entire site, entire building, which is about almost 4,000 square feet of office and almost 11,000 square feet of warehouse space. The business specializes in installation, window and door installation, lead abatement, and inspection services. Mr. Hawthorne has been operating this business for quite some time, since 2008, and has over 20 years of management experience. He's further closer to the airport currently and would expand his property to the site, or expand his business to the site. The proposed hours of operation are 7 to 5 daily. So you can see the condition of the site. Obviously, it's been abandoned for some time and needs substantial improvements, and Mr. Hawthorne will be investing a substantial amount of money into the property, making improvements to the site and to the building. First, significant improvements include removing asphalt down to the base and repaving, removing and resurfacing of concrete, removal of dead trees, garbage on the site, new sidewalks along the west side of the office, and new landscaping along Layton Avenue and the eastern property line. In addition, the back area, he will convert to grass, seed, and reduce the hard surface on the property. He will remove asphalt, gravel, and replace it with lawn and landscaping behind the building. Just a little zoom in, he will also install landscape bump outs as requested by the Plan Commission to create better screening of the building and potential work vehicle that may be parked in the back. So again, substantial increase in landscaping on the site. It's really going to green it up. The site requires 14 parking spaces, 50 are provided. There will be no outdoor storage of equipment or vehicles unless he does submit a revised site plan to the Plan Commission. At this time, outdoor storage was not permitted and was not proposed. Architectural changes include replacement of all the overhead doors, painting the white CMU on the warehouse to black, and clean and maintain the brick and aluminum eaves. So you can see the before and after rendering, which will really clean up the site. Again, it's substantially run down after being abandoned for so many years. So at the Plan Commission meeting, there was substantial discussion about stormwater and inlet potential. So the site sheet drains a lot to the east. There's a history of flooding in the properties to the east. With this proposed site improvements, and the engineering division has spoken extensively with Mr. Hawthorne's engineering firm that they are going to construct poured curb around the site. They're going to install 2 inlets and a storm manhole, along with a lot of bioswales throughout the site, pitching the water to run to the back and also to the inlets. And then there's an opening here in the poured curb that will take the water to the south. The engineering division is satisfied with the improvements to the site plan as was requested by the Plan Commission, and Plan Commission recommended approval at its March 14th meeting. We've received no letters of objection to date.
Okay, so one of the biggest things at the Planning Commission meeting was the red lines that are there, I think. There's always been a water problem to the east. This was the greatest objection, I think, and thank you for working towards a good solution for that. Is there anyone that's registered to speak other than the applicant for, against, or informational purposes concerning this item? Is there anyone registered to speak for, against, or informational purposes concerning this item? I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public
By
hearing.
Alderperson Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Kastner. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Does the council wish to take any action with regard to approving a resolution for the special use permit for weatherization services at this location?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alderperson Bailey. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderperson Drizwicki. Sorry, it's going to take me a little while before I pronounce it right. So the special use permit includes a lot of the stuff that's within the site, landscaping and architectural plans, generally speaking, with regard. Can we take the two items together, I guess is the way to do it. Would you object to that? I should have read them both. Sorry. Yes?
Maker of the motion, agree.
Maker of the motion agrees to take both items together.
I don't know, I'm asking. It wasn't
Yeah,
me.
yeah, second, okay. Would you please call?
Alderperson Drzwicki,
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey,
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner,
Aye.
Alderperson Akers,
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Motion carries. It's going to do a nice job there, okay? Promise?
I hope you do the other building.
Thank you. All right, item
We'll buy you a
three.
beer if you do the other building.
All right.
I will. I will definitely buy you a beer.
It's been recorded.
Okay. Item three is a public hearing of a special use permit for Granny Smith Tattoo. Proposed tattoo business to be located at My Salon, which is a series of independent contractors that work in there. Masseuses, at
Former Pier 1.
at 5170 South 76th Street. You want to go into this one real quick?
Yes, real quick, thank you. The applicant's proposing to occupy a small portion of this multi-tenant salon for a tattoo business. Requires a special use permit. They have many years' experience with this particular type of business. Proposed hours would be by appointment only, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. There is a shortage of parking on the site. However, there are intermittent hours with the uses within the property. The Common Council may waive the parking shortage. The Plan Commission requested that the owner remove the trailer on site and lower the light fixtures. That has been done already. Plan Commission recommended approval. No letters of objection received to date.
Okay. Other than the applicant, is anybody registered to speak for or against informational purposes concerning this item? Is there anyone other than the applicant registered to speak for or against informational purposes concerning this item? I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the
By
public hearing.
Alderperson Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. With regard to approving this resolution for the special use and the site plan review, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
By Alderperson Kastner, is there a second? Second by Alderperson Bailey, would you please call?
Alderperson Drzwicki,
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey,
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner,
Aye.
Alderperson Akers,
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
I don't know if the applicant knew this, but I was teasing him earlier, and I said all these people were here for him. Sorry, man. All right. So item 4 is a public hearing on a special use permit for Firefly Therapeutic Massage. Essentially the same exact thing, except it's a therapeutic massage within the same building with all of the same kinds of conditions and site plan review. Is there anyone that's registered to speak for or against informational purposes other than the applicant who is here in person? Is there anyone registered to speak for or against informational purposes concerning this item? I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the
By
public
Alderperson
hearing.
Akers, is there a second? Second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor to close the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. I'd entertain a motion to approve the resolution for the special use permit for Firefly Therapeutic Massage and approve the site plan review, which was consistent with the last one.
I'll make a motion to approve.
By Alderperson Bailey, second by Alderperson Akers.
I guess under discussion to the city attorney, can we not allow butt ugly green bean garbage can colors?
No.
No, I get the premise, but that would be a,
Okay.
You could create an ordinance that specified garbage can colors if you wanted to.
You could, I don't believe you guys have that ordinance currently, but you could look at that.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, just put them in cages.
Kind of looks like Greenfield, doesn't it, GFL? Looks like it's our garbage.
Yeah.
Greenfield living.
But it's in Greendale.
Does it?
so- No, it's Greenfield. Huh? Doesn't it?
Greenfield.
They look, I think they
You
look
just
nicer
approved this, come on.
than the brown. I know, I'm
Why
kidding.
would we put Greendale there?
You think they brand? You think they have all sorts of intellectual attorneys that, yeah, I bet you do. Okay, motion, where are we?
A motion by Bailey, second.
Motion was made and seconded. Would you call?
Alderperson Juzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. So just what people are asking, why did we have a hearing on massage parlors? Because some massage parlors are different than other massage parlors. J, old business, appointments to various committees and commissions. Old one, Board of Review and Tree Commission. Did we appoint him to the Board of Review?
He was an alternate, was
Oh,
in different.
Okay. I have no appointments this evening. Under K, new business, appointment of Common Council President for a one-year term. Currently, Alderperson Sarian fits that bit. Are there any nominations? They don't require seconds, so the way that it works, you just say, I nominate.
I nominate Alderperson Syrian.
Akers nominates Alderperson Sarian. Are there any other nominations?
I'll nominate Alderperson Bailey.
Alderperson Sarian and Alderperson Bailey are the two nominations. Are there any other nominations? So we'll take these in order. I can flip a coin to see who goes first. Okay, let's, okay, two nominations. Do you want to do it roll call on each, or do you want to just pick one, or how do you want to do it? I guess that's at the discretion of the council. How would, pick one, or?
It's up to council's discretion. I'd say pick one and just probably do a roll call, keep it clean.
Okay, so Alderperson Sarian was the first nomination. Would you please call to approve?
Alderperson Juzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
No.
Alderperson Kastner.
No.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Okay, Alderperson Sarian, congratulations, you are the new Common Council President.
Thank you.
Or continue to be Common Council President. All right, K2, 2023 Council Representative appointments to various committees and commissions. The council appointments are 3 members to the Finance Committee, currently Sarian, Bailey, and Kastner. So there's, and then all the rest.
I'll appoint those 3 as the members.
So just before we, historically, what we sometimes done is when a member is replaced with someone else, we just basically say things stay the same, except that the new person takes the old stuff, or we can go through line by line, whatever more convenient for you. All right, we'll go line by line.
Line by line.
2A, 3 members of the Finance Committee, Human Resources Committee, currently Sarian, Bailey, and Kastner. Did you say the 3 of them?
That's what I made the motion as.
Okay. Is that a second by Bailey? Would you call?
Alderperson Juzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Okay. Item 2A, double I, 3 members to the Legislative Committee, currently Collins, Bailey, and Sarian.
I would nominate Alderperson Juzwicki, Alderperson Bailey, and Alderperson Sarian.
Okay, so Drzwicki, Bailey, and Sarian for Legislative. All in, they don't need a roll call, do they?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 1 member to the Park and Recreation Board, currently Collins. Entertain a motion to, or
I would nominate myself.
nominate Sarian to the Park and Rec Board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 1 member to the Planning Commission.
Nominate
would
Kastner.
Kastner. Kastner to the Planning Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Mayor appointments, 1 member to the Board of Health for a term to expire April of '24. I'd appoint Alderperson Akers if she's still willing.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Actually, you need a motion to confirm, sorry. Need a motion to confirm.
Oh, yeah.
By
Motion to
Kastner.
confirm.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Driswicky. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. One member to the Community Development Authority for a term to expire for 2026. Currently, it's Alderperson Bailey. I'd renominate Alderperson Bailey. Can I have a motion to confirm?
Motion to confirm.
By Alderperson
Second.
Driswicky, second by Alderperson Akers. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed,
Mine's not
motion.
Mine's not up.
I don't think so. They're not at the same time, I don't think. They
Yeah, I
might be
usually
at the-
don't want to do it at the same time.
Huh?
Usually want to do those staggered, don't you?
You wouldn't been up.
2024.
Next year.
You got one more year? Right,
Am
one
I
more year,
actually
right?
back on, actually?
You got one more year.
Yep.
Are you going to be on next year? What is this?
I would say for the next one.
Okay, item B3, one member to Public Library Board for a term to expire 4/15 of '24. I would nominate Alderperson Driswicky to this position.
Motion to confirm.
By Alderperson Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Kastner, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item B4, it's kind of like bingo, before and after. Doesn't seem like I should have said that. 3 members of the Board of Public Works for a term to expire, currently Akers, Bailey, and Collins. I would nominate Akers, Bailey, and Driswicky. I'd entertain a motion to confirm.
Motion to confirm.
Motion by Alderperson Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. So there's some confusion with regard to the 2 citizen members to the board. The mayor does not appoint that for some reason. The board appoints that, okay? I think I sent you all, did you all get the email from me with the ordinance? Did you get, some people
I
said they
got
didn't get
something
it. Did
from you
get it?
about it, yeah.
Wouldn't have got it.
I got it.
You got it?
Yes.
You may not have gotten it. That's, okay. One member to the Tree Commission for a term to expire 4/14 of '25. This is a tough one.
We'd miss
I know
the
you all
reports.
want it,
I
but I'm
do
gonna,
want it.
I'm
Maybe
gonna,
in a
I'm
few
going
years-
to, I'm
a
going
few
to.
years from now, I
I'm going to
would
appoint
like it when-
Alderperson Bailey. I entertain a motion to affirm, or
You say,
Alderperson Bailey wants,
just check it.
yeah, Akers, I said.
No.
Reports are riveting.
Thank you very much.
I
know that.
motion to confirm.
Motion to
Second.
confirm by
Second.
Kastner, second by Akers, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Under 3A, appointments to various committees and commissions, council appointment. So the appointment for Alderperson Collins has not been placed on the agenda yet, but there is one member to the Board of Public Works for, well, wait, no, for John Rivera, I was wrong. One member to the Board of Public Works for a term to expire 5/1/25, formerly John Rivera. I was messed up on.
So we can,
We don't have to take any action right now.
You can, this is filling the citizen position. There's one citizen position on the board. There was someone expressed the interest.
I'll
So if you want to
nominate,
name somebody,
I'll make the nomination for Denise Collins. Someone
right.
has to, if someone has to second it, I don't know.
I'll second it.
okay, would you call?
Alderperson Driswicky.
Boy, you guys are killing me today. Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye, but
Alderperson Akers.
Aye. There's no
Alderperson
buts, it's
Sarian.
aye or nay.
I'm just, want to say,
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Well aware.
my predecessor is not going either.
I don't know. The fear, of course, is that former opponents
I have been
Should not be
assured
this-
that they
should-
will
should not be the subject
play
of a
nice.
committee.
I have been,
and-
that was a question.
I wish we would have had a little bit more excitement about committees this time around, but, because we're kind of all
Right.
asleep. It's almost
All right.
embarrassing. But
So under,
I'm not asleep. Who's asleep?
so each one of these I can read.
Chief Cohen out there might be.
So I'd make them, so under item B, mayor appointments confirmed by council, I would reappoint everyone except Andrew Driswicky to the tree commission unless he wants to sit in that role as a citizen.
No, my normal chair is up and they still need me, so I'll take that under advisement and I'll still fill the chair provided you're all still okay with that.
I didn't understand a word of that.
There's a public chair open still that I normally sit in. My term was up, or will be up in 30 days, so I'd rather just be sitting with Bruce as normal.
Actually, it would have been, yeah.
So just finish the 30 days and then,
The alderperson representing the board, I'm there just as a,
You're going to be you're a member of the tree commission. Okay, so I will reappoint, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You're not going to give a report every meeting, because that's Alderperson
believe me,
Bailey's.
Bruce can handle that.
Bruce, yeah, that's Bruce's,
one report is all we
the
need.
highlight right there. Okay, so I'd reappoint everybody. I'd entertain a motion to confirm.
Motion to
It's agreed and
confirm.
understood that Alderperson Driswicki is not the alderperson representative, he is a citizen.
I'll make a motion to confirm.
Motion by Alderperson Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Under mayor appointments for the planning commission, I'd reappoint Brian Weiss and Robert Kranz. Under designation chairperson of zoning board of appeals, I'd reappoint Michael Braswell if he'll do it. He's going to do it, great. Moving along to item 4, notice of circumstances giving rise to a claim filed by John D. Monson of Schott, Bublitz and Engel on behalf of Andrew and Jennifer Driswicki.
This was referred to the city attorney.
Item 5, approve application of 2022-2023 coin-operated or automatic dry cleaning and/or washing machine license received from Mega Laundromat. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
By Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Saring, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 6, approve applications for the 2022-2023 operator licenses. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Alderperson Bailey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Akers, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 7 is put on by the city attorney, consideration and possible approval of a resolution amending the current policy for borrowing from the city sewer fund. I think you all have it. It's consistent with what we've been talking about. The last time this has been updated was 1997, I think.
That's
so
correct.
It's about 30 years behind. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
By Alderperson
Second.
Kastner, second by Alderperson Akers. Would you please call?
Alderperson Driswicki.
aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
No.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Item 8, approve a 3-party design engineering agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation and Ayers Associates for the design of the Howard Avenue Bridge. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
By Kastner, second by Akers. This is a tiny bridge, doesn't even look like a bridge, really, does it?
It doesn't, you have to look really close to realize it's a bridge.
Yeah. So, motion was made, second, would you please call?
Alderperson Driswicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
9, approve outdoor special event application for Cinco de Mayo at Calabris Restaurant and Bar, 4555 West Forest Home. Entertain a motion to approve.
What day are they actually doing it? This is kind of a misnomer.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
It's kind of a misnomer. The Cinco de Mayo is
Oh,
not the 7th.
Can I ask if this is the former Burger King location?
it is
That
correct.
we've had some concerns by neighbors with their unlicensed outdoor events in the past?
They've been doing good since we had the instructional public hearing.
It's obvious on a weekend, too.
Hmm?
I'm guessing it's on a weekend, that's why
This
it's
is,
not on Cinco.
yeah, this is a Sunday from 12 to 7 p.m.
Should be.
They will have outdoor DJ, music, but it ends at 7 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderperson Kastner.
Second.
Second by Alderperson Bailey. We'll keep an eye on it. I mean,
Yeah, this will be like the first time they've done a
Official.
officially licensed one if we approve it.
right.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make
So
sure.
they'll be coming in for permits and everything and, right?
Well, it's just an OSC permit.
Okay.
Just an FYI, they are gonna come back requesting extension of hours of operation.
Okay. All right.
Not for this event, but for overall.
All right, motion was made and seconded. Would you please call?
Alderperson Driswicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Item 10 is approve an outdoor special event application for the House of Harley for a ride to support the troops on May 20th, 2023.
Motion for approval.
Motion by Alderperson Kastner, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Drzwicki, would you please, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
No.
motion-
Nay,
No,
come
by
on.
Akers is no,
He
sorry.
knows me.
4-1, 4-1, all right. Item 11 is approve the outdoor special event application of the Cruising Car Show to be located at Kawicki Park during
Motion.
Memorial Day, May 27th, and waive all applicable license and permit fees. Application includes the OSC. I entertain a
Motion
motion
for
to approve by Alderperson Kastner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Akers. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. The biggie, we'll just move on beyond that one. Oh, wait. 12, approve the outdoor special event application of the House of Harley Hometown Rally Event to be located at 6221 West Layton Avenue, July 10th through the 17th. Application includes all of the necessary combinations of licenses and permits. Entertain a motion to approve.
This is the biggie. Is Layton shutting down?
Yes. In July, not on Labor Day, though. So
I know.
entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
By Alderperson Kastner, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Drzwicki. Would you call on this one?
Alderperson Drzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
No.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Okay, motion
Do
carries.
we have a party in between there too? The 12th?
Are we closing it down again?
What?
Don't we have one at Conkle? The 12th?
I think so.
The 11th?
So that'll be good for us.
That's the grand opening of the Honey Creek?
I think it'll be.
I thought that was going to be Memorial Day.
All right, item 13 is to approve the application for Ethan's Run Against Addiction event held on August 5th. Entertain a motion to approve. And waiving all applicant licenses and permit fees.
I'll make a motion, but I have a comment after.
By Akers, or second?
Second.
Second by Drzwicki. Under discussion.
I just want to make note again, if we are going to be restricting the entrance into the apartments on Edgerton, because that's their only way in and out. We've had officers in the past, and I just want it made noted again that if we're blocking it off, that we need to still allow access when allowed.
Yeah, I think last year it went okay. I didn't hear any complaints.
I don't either, but I just,
So you're right.
Yeah, it
They let
needs-
cars come and go to make, and they protect the runners. So,
yeah,
Right.
we want the runners protected, but we need access and exit.
Agreed. Yeah, I think we got that under,
Yeah, I like to make sure, because
okay. No, it's a good
it was a
reminder.
reason.
Okay, motion, is there a motion made?
Yes.
Second,
Yep.
yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 14, special use review and site plan review for the mega laundromat. We went through planning. I'd entertain a motion to approve this one.
So moved.
By Akers, second by
Second.
Drzwicki. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. 15 is to approve the site and architectural plans for the privately funded patio and pergola improvements at the library. Entertain a motion to approve.
I move for approval.
By Alderperson Sarian, is there a second?
Second.
Second by
Are they going to
Alderperson-
have music out there, bands?
Yeah, really loud music directed east.
Keep the fire department awake and the police department awake.
Yeah. Motion is made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Items 16, 17, and 18 are finance committee items and includes the fire chief job description. Entertain a motion to approve.
I move for approval.
Second.
Motion by
I make
Sarian,
the
second
motion
by
to approve.
Bailey. You have to call.
Alderperson Drzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item 19 is a motion to go into closed section pursuant to Wisconsin statute 1985, parent 1, parent G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation which it is or is likely to become involved pertaining to sex offender residency ordinance restrictions. Put on our agenda by the city attorney. Entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
By Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Drzwicki, would you call?
Alderperson Drzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
If everyone can make sure the little green dots are off, that would be helpful. And Second by Castor, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are now in open session at 8:08. Item, this would be item 21, take action, if any, on a matter discussed in closed session. City attorney has some advice for us with regard to the
Language.
The motion would be to, on advice of council, not enforce the city's original domicile restriction, sex offense for the foreseeable future.
I'll make that motion.
by the person Akers, there's second.
Second.
Second by the person Bailey. Just quickly in the discussion, it's because the federal courts have thrown the ordinance into some potential legal jeopardy, and it's got to work its way through the appellate process.
I will amend my motion to reflect that.
Great.
And I will concur.
We can put in there, at this time, we will not enforce.
Yeah. Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. She's actually, something like that. She actually takes shorthand too. It's amazing. It's like, what is she scribbling? Adjourn. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn at 9:09.
Second, motion.
Motion by Bailey, second by Akers.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.